Okay, what's going on, everyone? We're going to talk about direct registration system. Now, I've had some great conversations with a few people from Reddit, and I appreciate all of you for coming on and discussing this. We've all figured out that the reasoning behind this is crime. And we're going to see some misconceptions, some errors, and basically look at the crux of confusion surrounding this. Because in reality, it's not a complicated topic. But of course, as over emotional, impatient, strained out, we've been watching crime all year long. We're getting antsy. So we tend to take things and make it bigger than it really is. So first, we need to look at why was the DTC DRS system created? It wasn't. The DTCC DRS is a lobbied form of the DRS TA that Dr. Trimbrath spent her career pushing while she was at the DTC. Now, she wrote a comment letter in response to DTC 2006. Forgot the filing number, but I'll link all this below, like as I always do. But basically, this is in Trimbrath's own writing. And she says, and was well aware, that DTC states that DRS DTC would allow an investor to transfer its DRS position in the security to a financial intermediary in order to sell or pledge the security or to receive a certificate representing the security, or to receive a certificate representing the security, emphasis added. In contrast, DRS TA. Now, DRS TA was what originally Trimbrath was pushing for. DRS TA would have allowed an investor to directly sell, pledge, or transfer the shares. So that's what you would want. So the fact that they're calling this a direct registration system is false advertising. Now, fast agent implementation to the DTC and DRS is what convoluted everything worse. So fast is a contract, and this is what people need to keep in mind. If you're in the DRS system offered by the depository trust company, you must be under contract, and that contract is the fast contract. Now, what does that contract do? It's where the fast agents, which in this case, by default, the fast agent is Computershare, they are acting as custodian for DTC. Now, what does that mean? A custodian is someone that holds customer securities for safekeeping in order to minimize the risk of their misappropriation, misuse, theft, and or loss. So what it should say is whereby fast agents act as custodians for participants. But that's not what it says. It says whereby fast agents act as custodians for DTC, meaning they're not holding it for you. They're holding it for DTC. It says right here. Now, if you didn't know what a custodian was, you may not have known that. But let me tell you, this sentence here is where most of the confusion is coming from. So basically, in a nutshell, Computershare equals the fast agent, which equals the custodian for DTC, which equals holding securities for the DTC. So why did the DTC lobby for DTC DRS? Well, because they're criminals and they want to control the physical security flow. They want to draw them all in. They want to eliminate physical certificates and have everything digitalized, so there's no true proof of ownership. Again, Trimbrath was aware of this and spent most of her career at DTCC fighting it. Let's read this excerpt from the comment letter. The most recent outgrowth of this decades-long process, mandatory DRS, is seeking to move millions of registered shareholder accounts from transfer agents and place the shares they represent in the DTC system for the benefit of DTC and its broker owners, not you and not the transfer agent. So number one, DRS doesn't help Computershare. And number two, DRS definitely doesn't help the investor, especially when you talk about the reasonings that are being spread around the community. Now, DTC's proposed DRS eligibility requirements, which are fast agent and limited participant, take this one step further by trying to eliminate transfer agent competition and give DTC complete control of the DRS system, which, unfortunately, they do have full control as of 2021. Now, these rules give DTC virtually unfettered discretion to decide which agents are in the mandatory DRS system and which agents are out. Moreover, DTC has, over the past year or so, orchestrated mandatory DRS rules which have been enacted by the New York Stock Exchange, the American Stock Exchange, and NASDAQ. These rules require that all publicly traded issues on these three exchanges must, by January 1st, 2008, be handled by a DRS eligible transfer agent, i.e., they must be in the DTC controlled FAST system. So hopefully this is all clicking, because it's really not that complicated. Trimbath was writing this letter in hopes to prevent this from happening. Now, unfortunately, obviously, by looking at the documentation today, we can see it was unsuccessful, and you can actually look back to around that time, and you see the approval letter come out shortly thereafter. Now, this is the biggest problem. So everyone's making fun because I read documents. Well, the reason I read documents is because I'm finding things that you're all missing. Because if you just read the website from the DTC, it says issuers that act as their own transfer agent, which is ComputerShare. I'm sorry, which would be GameStop if they were their own transfer agent. So GameStop could do it if they were their own transfer agent, but they're not. So the only other two options are transfer agents and DTC participants, which is you and me and transfer agents, cutting out GameStop completely because they're not their own transfer agent. Issuers and transfer agents must participate in DTC's Fast Automated Securities Transfer Program, or FAST, as well as open a limited participant account, which is LPA. Those are prerequisites to even establish the connectivity to DTC. So this FAST system, it's literally on a PTS connectivity database for the DTC. So the thought of taking your name out of DTC by using the DRS is not correct. Now, on the website, if you go to DTC's website, actually, I posted the wrong thing. If you go to DTC's website, this is what it says. The direct registration system enables investors to elect to hold their assets in book entry form directly with the issuer. Sounds gravy, right? But as soon as you look at the docs, what does it say? What do you notice the difference is? That's right. They added this in parentheses. DRS allows investors to hold a security directly on the books of the transfer agent, of the issuer, which is also the FAST agent for DTC. So if the issuer, if the transfer agent of the issuer is the FAST agent, that means ComputerShare is the FAST agent. And if ComputerShare is the FAST agent, that means they're custodian for DTC, not you and not GameStop. So I hope this is all making sense. So basically, DRS DTC created an intermediary and or FAST agent that convoluted the whole process. Trimbath was aware of this, tried to fight it, was unsuccessful. And that's just how it is. I mean, you can't argue with this. This is documentation. So if the goal is to dematerialize share certs, why would we use DRS? Well, number one, nobody's reading the documentation. Number two, people have faith in the system. And lastly, I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you how GameStop has nothing to do with DRS and the thought that everyone's saying ComputerShare. I mean, that's ridiculous because, again, you'll see. So using SecEdgar, I want you to go experiment with this on your own. Go to SecEdgar, search direct registration system. You're going to get tons of results from all different kinds of companies. Okay? Because guess what? In order to be able to issue uncertified shares, which is, basically using DRS, you have to amend your bylaws and you have to inform your shareholders. So the fact that everyone's saying that GameStop can't tell us about DRS, they literally have to, by law, in a shareholder report, tell us about DRS if they're going to use that as an option. They haven't done that. That's why they're not involved. So how are they still DRS eligible? They're not. ComputerShare is, and they're a transfer agent. We just saw it's for issuers acting as their own transfer agent, transfer agents, and participants. So when you look at the 10,000 results, there's a shit ton of them. When you click on them, the ones that are bylaws, you can see that the bylaws were amended in order for the company to become eligible to participate in a direct registration system. A direct registration system as required by Section 135 of the American Stock Exchange Company Guide and NASDAQ Marketplace Rule 4350. Pursuant to a direct registration system, shareholder may have securities registered in such shareholder's name on the books of an issuer or its transfer agent without the need for a physical certificate to evidence ownership. So basically saying, you don't need that physical cert. Come here, put it in our system, put it on the names, or put it on the, we're going to put your name on the books of an issuer or its transfer agent, which happens to be Computershare, which again is the fast agent, which again, custodian for DTC. So it's false advertisement. Faith in the system should not be had. These people are criminals. They will take your shit, steal it, and do God knows what with it, especially if it's in a DRS system. If your cash was in if your shares were in a cash account, settled, you had nothing to worry about. This was unnecessary if you had a cash account with settled shares. Unnecessary. So now what I want you to do is go back to the SecEdgar search, type direct stock or direct registration system, and then on the box below that, type GameStop CIK number, which is 00013263880, and guess what? There's no results because they've never opted to do the system, thereby saying they can't tell us to do it. And the reason why they can't tell us to do it is because they haven't filed the proper form, documentation, informing the shareholders that they're going to be issuing uncertified shares and or implementing the DRS system as an option for their shareholders. Period, point blank. If you're willing to talk to this, we can come on the Discord, discord.gg/fudstop. You heard that right. I've been doing it all year, people. This isn't my first rodeo. So nothing's changed on my end. I'm the same guy I've been all year, just calling shit out how it is. So it is what it is. Sorry for another long one. Go do this yourself. Try it yourself. I'll link all the docs below, and I'll talk to you all later.